Hello everybody, I wish you are fine. Firstly, before we start this video, I hope you watched the previous video about the coronavirus and its types. If you didn't watch it, you can find it here or in the description below. Today I will talk about the COVID-19 and the SARS coronavirus too. I will answer many questions about this virus, how it spreads among the people, how it infects the human cells and enters them, and how it reproduces. Also, how the immune system fights it off. I will talk also about the symptoms and a disease known as the acute respiratory distress syndrome that caused by this virus and can cause death. So, zoom in. Like we said in the previous video, that the SARS coronavirus 2 starts spreading from the bats, then to the pangolins, after that to the humans. After it infected 1, 2, or 3 persons, it starts spreading from them to many other persons by different methods known as the methods of transmission. The methods of transmission. The first one, droplets or aerosols. So after the infected person coughs, sneezes, or even talks, droplets or tiny particles called aerosols carry the virus out to the air from their nose or mouth. So if there is anyone within 6 feet to the infected person, he can breathe these droplets into his lungs. Airborne transmission. Many researches show that the virus can live in the air for more than 3 hours. So if someone breathes the virus out, then another one breathes it in after maximum 3 hours, of course he will get infected with this virus. The surface transmission is another way to catch the new coronavirus, is when you touch surfaces that another one who infected with this virus coughed or sneezed on it. You may touch doorknob or countertop that contaminated, then touch your mouth, your nose or your eyes, so you will easily infected with this virus. And by the way, the virus can live on surfaces like plastic and steel for 2 to 3 days. This virus most often spreads through people who have symptoms, but it's possible to bear the virus without any signs and symptoms. This is called the symptomatic spread or transmission. Also, the virus can spread from the infected person to another one before he notices any signs or symptoms. This spread called the pre-symptomatic transmission. So after the virus is spread to many people and infected them, it will start get into the human cells. But how? This is what we will talk about it now. Like I said in the previous video, that the coronavirus has protein spikes. These spikes attach to a protein. Actually, it's a receptor on the membrane of the human cell. This protein receptor is called ACE2. The ACE2 plays a role in regulating the blood pressure, but when the coronavirus attach or bind to it, it sets chemical changes that effectively fuse the membranes around the cell and the virus, so it can allow the virus's RNA to enter the cell. Then the virus ejects the host cell's protein, making machinery to translate its RNA to make new copies for this virus. So, one host cell can be forced to produce tens of thousands of new coronaviruses. Also, parts of the virus's RNA code proteins that stay in the host cell as an army, at least 3 known. One, to prevent the cell to send out signals to the immune system that it's under attack. Another one encourages the host cell to release the newly created viruses. And the last one helps the virus to resist the host cell immunity. How does the immune system fight the virus off? As with most viral infections, the body's temperature rises in an effort to kill off the virus. Additionally, the white blood cells chase the infection. Some ingest and destroy the infected cells, Others produces antibodies that can prevent the viruses to infect the host cells. But the problem that there are many people immune compromised means that the immune system cannot respond to the virus. These people which have obesity, cancer, diabetes, or asthma. These symptoms. The symptoms of the coronavirus can be from mild to severe symptoms. The symptoms may appear on the infected person from 2 to 14 days after the exposure of the virus. These symptoms can be fever, cough, sore throat, fatigue, headache, muscle or body aches, congestion or runny nose. New loss of taste or smell, nausea, vomiting or diarrhea can be also symptoms of the coronavirus. So if someone has some of these symptoms, especially cough or fever, he must go immediately to the nearest hospital to make sure if he has coronavirus or not. In more severe cases, infection can cause pneumonia, the acute respiratory distress syndrome, and sometimes death. The acute respiratory distress syndrome, the ARDS. So after the coronavirus reproduces many other new viruses, these new viruses go and infect many host cells. It can also infect the alveoli. The alveoli are air sacs in the lungs, like I said in the respiratory system video. So these alveoli exchange the oxygen and the carbon dioxide from and to the blood. So now after the coronavirus enters the alveolus, there is an immune cell called macrophage. This macrophage attacks the coronavirus. But if there are more coronaviruses, the macrophage produces new other immune cells called neutrophils. These neutrophils attack the coronaviruses. But it can end up injuring the alveolus and breaking down its walls. Fluid rushes from the blood vessels into the alveolus, filling it up and blocking the gas exchange or the oxygen exchange, so now it's more hardly to breathe. These two attacks make the coronavirus so deadly. The attack from the coronavirus and the attack from the immune system explosive response. So all this led to what we talked about, the acute respiratory distress syndrome, what most people with COVID-19 die from. Finally, now we finished this video. I hope you understand it very good. In the next video, I will talk about the diagnosis, the treatment, and the prevention of the coronavirus. See you later.